Hey guys, welcome back to today's PM session, and let's see what we have going on or got for us in store today. Let me see. Alright, so let's jump to the bigger chart and let's go through this quick. Alright, so looking at this chart, I don't know anybody followed me in the AM session. We had the market coming down here and we had the targets up here for that fair value gap, and we've got this target high of this news event that took place at 8:30 this morning. Sure enough, market went all the way up and started moving sideways. The one thing that's important to watch, keep an eye on now, is if you look at this high here and this high here, that's fairly equal. That's within the first fair value gap. If I can just draw that out. Alright, so that is definitely a target to get to, but ultimately we want to see price get all the way up here to this 77.88 level. Alright, so that is what we're targeting. Now we just need to wait for the obvious right entry and opportunity. Alright, so let's give it some time here, and it does look, we're in this fair value gap here, right here. It's a fairly little gap, but it's holding price, and I'm actually going to take the trade. Okay, we're going to go all the way up there, and we want to keep our stop right below that and see how this plays out for us. Alright, so we might push this out even higher, maybe all the way up here. That gives us another $5,000 if we can get there. Let's push it to 6,000. That would be a nice target. But alright, so what we will do now is we'll just keep on managing the trade from here on. Alright, let's see. So that looks good. So this fair value gap can hold price up there for us. goes through that, then it's fine. It's not fine, but it is what it is. I have good conviction that we want to go up to these levels, and if we want to go lower first, that's fine, then we'll just wait for another setup. For now, I'm watching this candle's low going into the fair value gap and see how it respects the low of that fair value gap, and start seeing some movement now, which is great. Great sign at least. And if we can get this right today, that's a decent profit for us. But let's focus on this first fair value gap for now. And there's liquidity within this low, this high here, these highs there, and then we've got these highs here. But ultimately, we want to go and target, this level right up here. Alright, so let's just be patient now. I'm not going to rush into anything. I know I've got a trade on already. I looked at it earlier and I thought we might want to come in here first, which we didn't. I don't know if we're going to do something smashing down and then reject or something. I don't know. And then we start going higher, so I was just following that for now. Right, so really would like to see these lows hold and not get broken. Alright, so we just sit tight here and give it time to breathe. I just want to see if everything is working fine over here. Alright, slowly it's moving up to our targets. Let's see if we can keep going with that. Right, so let's jump back to the big screen and just go through this again while we wait for price to move up there. Alright, so obviously if you followed me in the AM session, you would have recalled that I said these targets here, we want to see some sort of a reversal around this area, and I must admit there was nothing clean here for me to say, oh, that's a nice buy. So I didn't get anything there, and market did gradually work its way up to these equal highs and this fair value gap. That was the target. Then obviously we create a high, then after that first fair value gap, and drop a little bit here and create all this liquidity. So there's fairly equal highs there, but ultimately we targeting this 788 level, which is the 8:30 a.m.'s news events high. There's liquidity there. So my thinking is I'm taking this trade long here. I thought we are going to get to this fair value gap. We never did, so I waited for the next one. Price move a bit quick for me there, so that I got a bit of a late price and not in the fair value gap. First target's obviously the first fair value gap. Then we want to see something break through, test it, and then take us all the way up to the 788 level. And yeah, so you're trying to keep the stop tight. I mean, I could move it up to about there, but ultimately we want to see price go in here. Alright, so guys, if you've got other targets that you think we would get to, or you aiming for, let me know in the chat below. Let's see, let's mark them out, and yeah, let's try track it together. Yeah. Alright, so we got a 750, which is right there. Alright, let's see, 750. Okay. I mean, it's in line with what we're expecting here, so I'm not gonna deny that level. Okay, so it's a quarter level. Good. Let's look at the pivots. Maybe something lines up with that as well. Oh, so we at a pivot level now, funny enough. And then next pivot, okay, it's not going to be close here. All right. Time is it? So when we get to 1450, that's when the macro comes and do what it needs to do, especially running liquidity, and hopefully we see that push then, and maybe we see a push then to go up into this level up here. Hope it's not going the opposite before it goes up, but let's see. Right, let's see. What we're seeing here right now is basically this. It's this fair value gap. There's always a reaction when you see fair value gaps, and you see those pins are right on the bottom of it, and it's a tiny one. So you want to see this now smash through it and maybe test on it and then go higher. Okay, so exactly what we want to see. We want to see price move through it, to not stop there, and obviously continue up to the liquidity on the upper end of this. So far it looks, momentum looks great for this trade. Yeah, looks strong. Alright, so now we can probably see the test of this. At this point I could obviously move myself to break even. Even move my it's not too earlier, but I would like to see this inverted fair value gap hold price to go higher. Alright, let's see if we can get the bounce there. Try to freak out at this point, but let's keep an eye. Maybe the reason I'm not closing my position is because I haven't entered up here. If I entered up here, I might have considered just closing the position, but because I'm in here, I'm going to leave it there because I would like to see this little swing point to hold price to go higher. And if it breaks through it and close, then I'm not gonna cry about it, because there's a little gap here that we might trying to bounce from, or maybe go and do something there, and my stop is right below that, so I don't see any, so maybe a little gap there, but let's see. Maybe we get a nice, alright, the reason why I would take this off now, so I will mark this out now, because this becomes important to me now. If we invert this, this is inverted fair value gap, you see price going higher. Alright, this could just be that pullback. We might see this closing higher here. Well, that's at least what I would like to see. To bounce off this little black candle and close higher. If you want to take that out, then maybe you want to go all the way down here. Okay, let's see if that's going to hold price or, okay, got stopped out. Still at a profit though, so no money is lost. Still think the liquidity is up here. So I'm not disregarding any of this. So let's just keep an eye. Be a deep retracement if we're going to go all the way to this fair value gap, and why I'm saying we could is because we have not filled, I mean 80% of this is still open, but we could bounce from here. If we invert there, then I'll look to take a buy again. Alright, so it seems like we obviously want to go deeper down, so and this could all just be because of this higher lows, try to run some liquidity. Maybe we are going to get to this fair value gap and then see some buy opportunity, which gives us a much bigger risk reward to go all the way up there. So let's just be patient and don't rush into anything. I would not take shorts here, and the reason is because I'm bullish with those buy side resting a little bit higher. So I would rather hang tight and wait for the opportunity to take a buy. So let's have a look and see if that's gonna Okay, so just want to keep, note this little gap. Not gonna worry too much about this one now. It's basically on this base of these consolidation, we bounce from there. Might look at invert this and then go higher. Keep a close eye on this one. It's not an A+ setup to take any buys here because you want to get through this first, but I might just be a little cheeky here and try to take it there. Take it back up there. Because this is now a little inverted fair value gap. And we're most probably going to learn a lesson here why you should not try to trade between two fair value gaps, because you can invert one and reject the other one and then start screwing around with your drawdown, as you can see, and your profit. So hopefully we see a bounce here to go higher. But it could also just go down all the way to get down to this fair value gap. Alright, so that little white candle just wicked into this little gap just below this black candle, which is good. I want to see this enclose up into this fair value gap. Then I think we're going to see a higher push. Come on, push higher. Just gonna leave that there and just show you guys what I saw here was this here. That little fair value gap. Spike in, but then this white candle, if it closed much higher, then that would have shown me momentum is going to break through to the top side. See where this black candle closes. Okay, I'm just like collapsing that trade because that tells me we might possibly want to go lower first. Okay, so there we go to that. I'm thinking we're going to go to this fair value gap down here because of the liquidity element. overall we see some sort of a rejection here. So in this macro time that started about, yeah, and it's biggish candles, but it's not moving in the direction we want. I think whatever happens now, I'm gonna have to wait for this top fair value gap to get inverted. Unless something drastically changed down here, if price wanna go all the way to this fair value gap. The reason why I think we could go all the way down here because of all this low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So this is all liquidity, and this particular fair value gap has not been filled completely, just the top end. So that's liquidity there, and we can see this, it's liquidity down here. So if we break through there, we're most probably going to go down there. I'm not doing shorts on this because I've got you know, a target up here which is at the 788 level, because this high or this level, if you look at my earlier videos, you'll see that this is the 8:30 a.m. news candle, the high of that candle. So there's liquidity there, we haven't tapped that yet. We've run through the low, and now I'm seeking, you know, opportunity to ride this way up to that level. Alright, so obviously I can't, not obviously, on the package that I'm on with TradingView, I can't look at the 30-second chart. I see this people in the chat that could see some opportunity there. Unfortunately I can't. The lowest I can go is the 1 minute, and yeah, it's just because I like to trade as low as 1 minute. Pretty stuck between these two fair value gaps right now. I won't be surprised if we slice through it, because this bounce, aggressive rejection, all these rejections could be just to fool you to go long and then put you in drawdown all the way down here. So although I want to go long, I don't think this is the area or the setup to take a long. So I'll be patiently sitting on my hands for now. Not sure why the time distortion for candles to just sit. Maybe it's psychological. Screw people's minds thinking, and force you to make the wrong decisions. Nothing convincing there yet. We still have time here, so no rush. It's amazing how you can take a trade, it ends up starting out nicely, working its way higher, and then just start retracing to the opposite and then start screwing sideways. So maybe there's just something we don't know yet. I don't even know if there's anything outside. Let's see if I can find something. Let's see. No, it was only CPI, which was the red folder today. We got PPI, unemployment claims tomorrow. So might have some nice opportunity tomorrow then again. The price refused to break between these two fair value gaps for now. Alright, let's do this. Let me change the view quickly. Let's hide all the drawings. Let's go to the 4 hourly. I just want to see if there's something on the bigger time frame that we're missing here. We're still within this fair value gap. So in theory we're still bearish, and the reason I say that is if you look at this this low, higher low, higher lows, higher highs. I don't know, it's probably one of those bear flags type of things. Now that I'm trading it, I'm just looking at it quickly. So there's liquidity on this side, so at some point we want to go down there at least to run these lows to create the manipulation to go lower if we want to go higher. And let's see what it looks like on hour. Okay, so hour in this fair value gap, I mean this high is still intact for us, and that's the high that I'm aiming, and one of the reasons. Okay, so we'll take off all of this just to show you guys. That is why this is also so important. We've got this high right at the bottom of this fair value gap, which we have not filled anything of. So I would like to see that push up in there at least to let's make it a different color so we know this is the H1. Going to the 1 minute back. See, that's the target that we've marked out. That's where we wanna. We could even get into this 19800. It's right down there. Nice targets actually. But for us to get there, I want us to see that we're going to break through this fair value gap at least, and then obviously going through the first fair value gap with their liquidity that sits there as well. Alright, but for now we got to wait and see what price want to do in this sideways move. Maybe just move sideways like this for the rest of the day, and then tomorrow morning when we all wake up, or we see London or Asia, we've done the best setup ever that we all missed. So let's just wait and see what we can get from this. We'll see a move, just have to wait. We've got 45 minutes still, and probably in the next, that last 15 minutes, it's all, or maybe now, I don't know, let's see. The other thing is, if this candle, obviously go lower here, these high, lower highs, this is all a trend line. That's liquidity that's forming, and that is where I think if we get that reversal here, hopefully in form of a fair value gap that gets inverted or something, that would be a nice one to target all these highs and see if we can ride it all the way up. Alright, so this fair value gap is now an inverted fair value gap. And hopefully, if we want to go lower, we want to see this white candle not inverted back, but spike through it and close within it or below this IFVG. Want to see that white candle's body stay within that IFVG or like that. Yeah, and now I want to see price move lower here. And I've got go up. Alright, let's look at this quick. Go to 15-minute quickly. Someone's saying we're inverting to go higher. Alright, so we're talking about this in this fair value gap here. We inverted, that could be exactly it. So you should be taking buys here. Yeah, good spot. Only thing that I'm worried about is this fair value gap down here still. I know price is inverting down and up. Whenever we start, something holding price and then suddenly we invert it, then we invert it back, I start not to trust price action that much, because I could easily see this thing come back and invert down again. I would most probably wait for this to get inverted and then target this and then higher. See, I'm still not happy with the fact that we stuck between those two fair value gaps. See what I mean, guys? Whenever we start doing funny stuff like inverting something like both sides, that's normally doesn't sit well with me. I mean, this candle's not closed yet, so maybe it's just accumulating something to go higher here. Look, it's closing well, so well, let's see what this other candle does now. Alright guys, if you like the stream so far, I'm gonna ask you, if you don't mind, drop me a like on this live stream. It helps me for my YouTube channel. And yeah, hopefully that will help us as well get more profits out of this Nasdaq today. Geez, I wonder if we're actually going to go lower than this fair value gap. So if it wasn't for all this back and forth on this fair value gap or IFG, which I can move this way now, I mean, if this fair value gap was open with these highs and we saw the spike in there and this little gap here, that would have been a nice short there with your stop just above that and target this fair value gap down here. And it would have looked something like this. Something like this. You could put it just above that 50%. You can actually target this. That could give you a nice 2.6 to 1. If this is how the market wants to play. But of course I didn't take it because, and I would not take it even if you present this to me again under the circumstances with, you know, all these fair value gaps around, and sometimes it's not worth marking it out, and that's why you'll see if we break through it and up and down and this and that, I would normally just delete it if it's not relevant to me anymore. This is a inverted fair value gap here. There's a little gap where we're in right now. And let's see if this... See, we're close to liquidity here. We were close to liquidity here. And we're not getting to where we want to get to. Let's see if this candle or this fair value gap will hold price to go lower here. Or is it going to be another inverted fair value gap type of thing? Alright, so see how that candle closed well in that small fair value gap, which is nice. So this low is definitely a target, so that tells me we most probably going to go to this fair value gap now. We could spike back up to this 50% of this wick and 50% of that wick and this wick, solid resistance or wall to hold price to go lower here. And at 50% now, see if it's going to break through there or just drop. See, here we go, now we're inverting again. Now we're between two fair value gaps again. See, if you've taken this rejection here, like I said earlier, that's just telling, hey, we're rejecting this and we're rejecting to try to take an early buy. Then this would happen, get stopped out, and if you put your stop lower or don't have a stop, just take you in deeper drawdown. At this point, you're most probably just gonna say, that's it, I'm out, and then it starts moving in your direction and you're like, crap, should have kept it. And at some point people see this as a little break of structure and let's buy it again, and that's when we drop again to get into the zone that we've marked out earlier. See how this fair value gap's midline holding price to the tick. We stay below this white candle's low and just close there like it is now. I'm most probably going to take a short here and see, put my stop there and see if we can target this low and even this fair value gap. And that's just a paper trade, guys, and only reason I'm taking this is because our price is presenting itself here, holding a certain level. I'm expecting the momentum to push lower because because of that fair value gap that's supporting the fact that price could not get through that center point. I'll take a short. Hey, just want to say, where's my short? My stop there. Take it there and see. This is a paper trade account for those of you who knows, because this is not financial advice. I do trade a live account, which I'm not displaying here, and it's just because it's from a regulatory perspective. I want to show you guys that this comes across as financial advice. This is just me reading price, take a paper trade account and put it to the test and see how, and show you guys that if you're taking a trade and you journal it and you learn from this, then you would see how to manage your risk in case we start inverting like crazy, like we just saw now. And then obviously where to put your targets, and if it goes your way, how to manage that trade all the way to profitability. See, price is just back in this little range that we were going sideways. Spike down, back into the range. Spike down, back into the range. Right, so we've run this high in this fair value gap, that to me is we run liquidity, and if we got momentum down like this could potentially take us down to where we want to go, or even to this low. You gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Must say AM session was much easier than this now. Crazy how price does not want to move today. Okay, let's see if this is it. Okay, push lower now. Okay, I like the momentum. Keep going. Don't stop now. Now you want to take it, take it. Alright, so hopefully we see a quick move down. Amen. Alright, so there we go. At last. Jeepers. Alright, so we're right here now. What I want to do now is see how this black candle, if this is remember what I said earlier, if we run this, let's take my face off here. I said earlier, if we run this fair value gap, I want to see the reversal in an inverted fair value gap. Now what would be first price for me here is if this turns into a fair value, inverted fair value gap. Currently it's just a fair value gap. If we now invert here, I think there's a good chance we can take or go for these liquidities, and we've taken just run below this low, or maybe we go in there and just keep dropping. But this would be first price for me if we can invert this, and that would be a nice setup for a long. So what we should have done from the beginning, guys, when we were up here, we said we're most probably going to go down here. Then we want to look for this particular setup. We should never have traded within this. I know I made money on this move, but I got stopped out on that move there. So you need to be careful to be very specific on what type of trade you want to take, and not try to take trades all the way to where you think. Rather wait for, and you'll see we're gonna most probably invert this now and hopefully get some nice momentum to the upside and close off the day. Well, I could be wrong completely here. We could continue going sideways here and not get to anything. But the point I'm trying to make here is, if you want to be good in trading, you got to be very selective with your trades and not take stupid trades in between. That's going to cost you, because you're just cutting out your profits from the good trades that you're waiting for. I mean, this looks like a swing high that we're forming to go lower. If this stays in place and we go lower and we take this out, form a new swing low and break this swing high, then I would look for buys. And only reason I'm saying this now is because this candle didn't invert this fair value gap. Okay, so we've got that swing high now. If we get an aggressive move that closes above that, I would look for some sort of a test of that wick to go higher. But I must say, looking at the momentum still looks pretty bearish to me. Obviously, for us to see even further bearish, we need to invert this fair value gap here. And yeah. Okay, so let's see, closing below that 50% of that fair value gap could indicate price to go lower here. Let's see how that candle closes. We're just going to be important here. See, we close below the 50% and we close above it. Maybe this is where we're going to turn the tide. The swing point, like I said, swing point high, move down, take it out, swing point low. This is the range now. Now we want to see if we're going to close above this range to go higher. I was expecting such a nice PM session, to be honest. I thought we're gonna smash it. Give us something. Just give us something. Alright, let's see if we're going to invert this to take that high out and then see some movement to the upside. Or is this just going to be some sort of a pullback to go lower? Gosh. I hope I'm not falling into that trap where so desperately wanting to run the buy side, the prices keep going lower and there's opportunity to take price lower, but I'm not taking it. Because what I'm seeing now is we got a swing high, a lower swing low, a lower swing high. Now in theory we should target this low now. Okay, let's see what's happened in yeah. Right, is this it? Is this gonna be it? Okay, so that swing point there, we just broke that. So now I'm thinking, are we gonna invert this to start going higher? Again, we are in that 1548, 1550, that's the macro, starting in 2 minutes or 1 minute. Still I'll try this trade. Alright, so 19,586. Just leave it there. Great for us to go all the way up here. I'll just leave it there for now. We can always move it. Oh my word. Okay. I'm not taking any trades further because got a little inverted there and immediate smash down, inverting the other side. Alright, so I don't think, yeah, looks like if anything is worth trading here. Big, that's the macro time, guys, that's 1550. Not expect that as a move. Alright, well, I'm not gonna, I mean, obviously these are all liquidity waiting to be taken. We've got liquidity up here. Maybe we leave this for tomorrow. Don't know. All this liquidity here. Or maybe we're going there now. I don't know. Honestly don't know, so I'm going to take this out because we inverted too many times. Here we're still inverting. I don't know if this is it, you know, supporting to go lower. Yeah, I think if we break lower here, I'll just let it be because at the end of the day, I mean, there's so much liquidity still higher. I just don't get why we wouldn't go there. Maybe we want to leave it for London tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, if we go back into 15 minutes, I mean, look at this. Nice high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. So maybe we're just trapping people on both sides in to do something else tomorrow. that is all I can think of. And if you zoom out a bit here, this is pretty much sideways, but it does move up. You know, it's got a upwards move, but higher lows, higher lows. Sorry guys. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs, so maybe it wants to come down, run something here, or even just run these lows here at this 375 level. And then if you just focus back here, this is just trapping people on both ends, trying to keep you overnight, and then maybe Asia, London will see a different picture. But yeah, I think I'm actually not going to trade further on this, because I mean, it seems like it's just not working out. So there's a nice fair value gap here, right here. In theory guys, if we invert this bouncing off a fair value gap, that's normally A plus setup to go in that direction. But looking at what price is doing now and the time of day, I don't know if I want to take it. And what I was going to say, unless we're going to get this big aggressive move running all this liquidity, and yeah, I don't know, maybe this was just a manipulation down, and maybe we don't even get a test, and now we just see price slice through everything all the way to the top. And we can try it. Nice fair value gap there still. Maybe this little gap here forms as a breakaway gap to just send price higher. See if we can get tapped in there. Okay. Right, so we can see this as a IFEG, and then we can see this as a fair value gap. Remember what I said before. Whenever we see an inverted fair value gap and a fair value gap, or two fair value gaps right on top of each other like this, pretty solid to hold price. So let's even see if that's what will work here. Alright, so this high must go. If we want to see this go higher, we want to see this high get broken and not go close below this type of thing. I mean, if you really look at this, there's a biggish wall here, but you don't want price to get stuck here for the remainder of the day and into tomorrow. You want this thing to move now. Right, now's not the time to bounce around. Now's the time to run, to rally, to get to liquidity. Take us to the moon. Alright, so if we break this, I would most probably put my stop at the 50% here, not completely at break even, just in case we do what we do now, which is obviously not ideal. Sometimes the market just has a way. Yeah, I don't think this is actually going to work for me. Let's see if this 50% holds. Yeah, I don't get price action today. Okay, we still hold at 50%. Give us a nice white candle. We're in a zone where it's discount to buy. If you really look at it, so if we want to buy, we should have waited for something like this. Yeah, I don't think it's worth actually holding on. I'm gonna actually just take this trade off, because this thing could sit here and just go sideways, or now that I close it, it could give us this gigantic move to the upside. Look, this is it hasn't broken lower yet, but yeah, I think because I'm not going to sit with this trade now, I'm actually going to close off and move on. And it's, after 4, so it's not worth taking any trades. This could quite easily just go nowhere now. Alright, so let's have a look. Yeah, I guess if you really look at this, price could easily come down to here. Let me take my face off again so you guys can see it. I mean, there's so many fair value gaps down here if you really want to go bearish. But for me, this is a big target up here, this level. And yeah, it's just amazing that we went down perfectly, came back up, great liquidity, come back down, miss it, come back down, and now struggling to go anywhere. So now it's just like a sideways move again. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually end off the stream. It's past the trading time I want to trade, so obviously I'm not gonna force anything now. If it plays out, it plays out. Maybe it plays out in London, maybe in, I don't know, maybe it's just going like this till tomorrow when the new news come. So I'm just gonna let it be. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks for your contribution. Thanks for your likes. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to chat to you guys tomorrow. I'll see if I'll obviously make a plan to be around for the AM session. To obviously stream it, I'll be around, but to actually stream it. If I don't, I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow in the PM session again. Alright, so stay safe, don't overtrade, don't go crazy now, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.